Good morning, all my fellow patriotic Americans. Are you tired of winning that? I thought so. Take a look at this headline from the New York Times. Now, it's plastered all over the front page. Funny how it's not labeled as what it should be. You'd think by reading it, it's a news article, but no, you can tell from the headline it's an opinion piece. House Republicans oust a defiant Liz Cheney. Defiant? Ha! She's anything but. She's rolling over and begging biscuits from her masters, her contributors to her political campaign, and her future party, the DNC. She's a rhino, and she's finally been ousted for it. Here's the other big lie. For her repudiation of Trump's election lies. President Trump never lied about the election. He called it the way he saw it, the way we all saw it. If you watched any of the election coverage on that night in November, you know it stunk. The following morning, the stench was overpowering. You knew there were shenanigans. We called shenanigans. But the Main Street media, like the Times, refused to do any investigation upon it. Just like they never called out the former vice president's son for everything that was on his laptop. Do you remember that? Where was good old Lizzie for calling for an investigation on that? I'm not going to read the entire article. In fact, I'm only going to go through one paragraph before I show you a rebuttal from the person that should rebut this. House Republicans purge Representative Liz Cheney of Wyoming. Well, the House Republicans might have just purged her today, but I sure do hope that the good voters of Wyoming will purge her during the next election. As it says right here, she was in the number 3 position, but no more. She holds no office of responsibility in the Republican Party now. And it repeats the lie in the headline. How President Trump called out the shenanigans during the presidential election, and the media seemed to be the 3 blind mice. You notice how it also says that the party was intolerant of dissent? No, the Republican Party is growing by leaps and bounds because they are tolerant. There are many dissenting voices in the Republican Party. What they don't tolerate, though, are outright lies and the willingness to try to destroy the Republican Party. That's what Liz is all about. She's trying to destroy the Republican Party from within. So they booted her manky little ass. And President Trump does represent the Republican Party. And so you should show fealty to the president if you're a member of the Republican Party, just as you should show fealty to the former vice president if you're a Democrat. Let's now go on to the rebuttal. Of course, President Trump's new website, DonaldJTrump.com. Take a look at this. I'm going to read this in its entirety. Liz Cheney is a bitter, horrible human being. I watched her yesterday and realized how bad she is for the Republican Party. Well, Mr. President, not anymore. She's been shown the door. She has no personality or anything good having to do with politics or our country. She is a talking point for Democrats, whether that means the border, the gas lines, inflation, or destroying the economy. Those are the very things that the former vice president has done in his first few days sitting in the Oval Office. He's destroyed the economy with inflation. There are gas lines all over the East Coast. and our border is nothing more than a welcome mat. That's what the former vice president's policies have done so far. I can't wait to see what they'll do in the future. She is a warmonger. Yes, she is. Whose family stupidly pushed us into the never-ending Middle East disaster. Indeed they have. Her very father was the author of that policy, and she supports the former vice president in keeping us in that area when President Trump had negotiated us to be out by now. The former vice president said, hold on, let's stick around to 9/11. He did this for political purposes so he could take credit for pulling us out. And what has that done? Well, our forces are taking heat right now there, and I'm starting to doubt if it'll get us out by 9/11. President Trump also rightfully pointed out that this war drained our wealth and depleted our great military. The worst decision in our country's history. Again, that decision authored by Liz Cheney's father. A failure as a father, a failure for a daughter. I look forward to soon watching her as a paid contributor on CNN or MSDNC. I guess he's saying he doesn't expect her to win her next election either, that she'll have to find a new job. Now, if you want to keep up with what President Trump is saying, go to DonaldJTrump.com. Do an internet search for President Trump. Odds are it'll be the first thing in the search, his new website. I highly recommend you join.